guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be a Christmas / New Year's Eve, slightly vintage inspired, very glamorous look. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to call this one yet because I'm not sure when it's going to be going up. I have every intention of getting this one up in the next few days, so it is available before Christmas, but in the event that it isn't, it may be more of a New Year's Eve look. We'll find out. We'll see what the future holds. So I'm actually going to be recreating a look that I recently wore in real life to a wedding that we went to last week. It was the first time in ages that we were properly actually out. We were dressed up. I felt really glamorous. I figured it would be quite nice to do a tutorial for this look, give you another example of how I do my makeup in real life, give you my thoughts on some products, use some favorites that I am loving at the moment. So enough chit chatting, let's just jump straight in. We don't need any sort of transition or anything, but we do need some skin prep. I'm not gonna go through all of the details of everything I do before getting ready again. I have a video where I looked at all of that and I will link it up in the cards for you if you guys are interested, but we do need a little bit of skincare. I need to clean my face off a little bit because I'm like 99% sure I have some crumbs on my face right now, so let's do that quickly. Starting off as always with some Garnier Micellar water on a reusable cotton pad just to get away any grime, any dirt, get the skin nice and ready for my skincare. And next we're going to move into a serum. I'm not getting like particularly dry or dehydrated at the moment. I would say I'm definitely a solid normal to combination skin type right now, but because it is winter, I do like to use a hydrating serum, and the one I'm using right now is the hyaluronic serum from the Boots Ingredients range. I am really enjoying this one. It is a super affordable option, and it's a really thin, almost watery consistency. This might not be ideal if you're more dry. You might find that it absorbs in too quickly, but if you're more on the oily side, it doesn't really leave any residue on the skin. It's already penetrated my skin, like it's just really like the perfect consistency, and again super affordable. So this is a product I'm really loving. Next up is my eye cream, and I kind of feel like using something a little bit fancier today, something really nice and hydrating. So I'm going to open a brand new tube of Clinique Moisture Surge. I've been keeping this one because I want to finish what I already have open, but I'm struggling with a patch of really dry skin on my eye again. I don't know if you can see, but it's like really accentuating the lines on my under eye. Like you can just see them so much more on this side than on this one. So we want to feel like just get a little extra hydration. I adore this product. Oh, I have missed having this in my routine so much. I just love how the Moisture Surge products just turn into this really watery consistency again, so I just really like it for my skin type. And it's also not stinging the dry patch, which other products have been doing recently, so I do really like that. And then I'm just going to moisturize, and again I'm going to use my Moisture Surge. This is the 100-hour auto replenishing hydrator, just because it's one of my favorites. Again, my skin at the moment has just not been feeling dehydrated really in any way. I still get oily in my forehead, T-zone area, but I definitely haven't been feeling any dryness at all on my cheeks. I feel like maybe this guy's got something to do with it. I love how quickly the moisturizer just absorbs into my skin, so I can kind of just jump straight into the makeup side of things. And we're going to start with a primer, which is going to be the Origins Original Skin Cooling Primer. This is a really fun product, mostly because of the texture. It comes out as a foam. It comes out very cold. I do find that some of my foundations just seem to work better with it. Like they just sit really well. It's a blurring primer, so it's just going to help blur the appearance of pores a little bit, but it's not heavy on the skin. Like it doesn't feel like a mask or anything. It's really lightweight, and it's really nice in summer because of the cooling sensation. For this look, the eyes are going to be super simple. So for me, it's really going to be all about the skin. I've always focused on trying to get a really flawless base when I was going out. That's always been the case, but with where my skin was before and how bad it could be, I felt like my focus really was on covering up, whereas now I just want my skin to look really good and I want to feel really contoured. That's more what I'm going for. So we do have a few blemishes around here. I think it's a hormonal one because they're all concentrated around the chin. I want to start by concealing those before the foundation, which isn't normally something I do, but it does mean that if you haven't got a concealer that matches your foundation shade exactly, you can get away with it if you're using it first. So I'm going to start with the Lasting Perfection concealer in the shade number 6, which is Cashew, and I'm going to pop it on right on all of those spots, just all those areas that need concealing. This one is really, really nice for this type of concealing because it does dry down pretty fast. It's not going to move around too much when you go over it with the foundation. So we've given it a couple of seconds to start settling in, and I'm just going to blend it in with my fingers. This shade is also a little bit warmer, a little bit darker than my complexion, so it's going to have a little bit of a colour correcting effect, and just look at the difference already. We've hidden that redness, it already feels a lot more flawless. Now, one thing that I do always feel like ends up making me feel a lot more glam, a lot more like going out ready when I'm getting ready, obviously, is an expensive foundation. There are some really, really great affordable options out there, but when you're going out, there's something really nice about wearing an expensive foundation. And I finally got my hands on the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. I went for the shade Mont Blanc. I tried this one last year when I was temping in a department store, and I thought it was absolutely incredible. So I waited a whole year for the Black Friday sales so that I could get this, and with my employee discount on top, it saved me like a ton of money, and this is stunning. So you know what, I'm just gonna pump it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take the foundation brush from the Tokyo brush set from W7. I actually really like this brush. I'm not always a fan of cheap drugstore brushes. Like, I do think there's something not quite right about the bristles, that sort of thing, but this is the best brush out of the pack. I adore it. I'm using a really thin layer of foundation. This is like a far cry from how much I normally cake it on, but the coverage is incredible. It just makes me feel so flawless. I'm also just going over my eyelids right now, just because we're not going to be doing a lot of eyeshadow. If I was doing a look with a lot of eyeshadow and I was going to use something like my P. Louise base, I would avoid the eye area so that I wouldn't get too much of a build-up of product, but because that's not what we're going to be doing today, I want to just even out the area, and I am avoiding my under eye area for that exact reason. I don't want to end up with too much product piling up on the area. I'm going to do my highlighting and my under eyes next. So I'm going to take my W7 Very Vegan Perfectly Matte Concealer, and this one is the shade Fair. We're just going to do that in all of the usual areas just to bring some light in. I feel like I kind of flip between concealers, but I really don't know if I have a favorite concealer yet. Like, I'm still looking for the perfect one, so I'm just blending it out everywhere. This is the Peaches and Cream PC13, by the way. I'm just gonna bring it over the lid. And then I'm gonna take some more and I'm gonna do my under eyes. So I'm gonna highlight back here and then pop it at the front where I've got the most darkness. I do need to say that while I do normally think this concealer looks amazing, on this eye where I've got that issue with the dryness at the moment, I did find that it creased pretty quickly. So if you are drier, you do have more lines on your under eyes, this would be one to avoid. Oh, as always, I am really itchy. Always in the same spot. Oh, see, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm struggling to get it to look right on this side. Now, when you're going out, obviously, one of the things you want to do is have your makeup last for as long as humanly possible. So I'm gonna go in with a first layer of setting spray at this stage. And there's only one setting spray when it comes to going out, isn't there? It, of course, has to be the Urban Decay All Nighter. It is the best, what can I say? So let me pop on a first layer right now. So I'm gonna let that settle and dry down for just a second. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is do my cream bronzer and my cream contour. So first up, I'm gonna use the W7 Bronze Chic Universal Bronzing Balm. And the brush I'm gonna take is a PC15. And I'm just gonna load it up and I mean, then literally I'm gonna bronze. Unfortunately, there is only one shade in this product. Brands really should know better than just doing a single shade of bronzer. It can be a little bit too orange, so if you are as pale as I am, do be careful not to get too much. So yeah, literally just gonna bronze everything up. Right now, this is all about bringing dimension, carving out that jawline, carving out those cheekbones, and again, just feeling really snatched. I'm gonna take a little bit down the sides of the nose, onto the tops of the cheekbones and across the bridge of the nose as well, and then just underneath as well. We're just kind of creating a first layer of shadow, and then we're going to contour, and this is another product by W7. This is their contour stick in the shade Fair, and this is really nice and cool toned. This is such a good shade for me. So I'm just going underneath my cheekbones. Do they match? Absolutely not. I have absolutely just done one higher than the other, I think. The bronzer, I feel, is almost like the kind of initial template for where my contour is going to come in, and then my contour is just the deeper, more concentrated areas. Gonna blend that out with the same brush. Look at how much depth we have again, how much shape we've added back on. When you need to be really done up, there's just something about a cream contour and a cream bronzer. They just melt into your skin. My nose is still itchy. This is really annoying. I do feel like maybe I over contoured the chin a little bit. I brought that forwards a little bit too much. So I'm just gonna take the Very Vegan concealer again. I'm also just gonna stretch it out on either side, just making sure I haven't got any harsh edges to the contour, just making sure everything is just really seamless. And then I'm going to do my nose contour, and I do normally apply it straight from the stick, but it's just a little bit too much product, so I'm going to take my Morphe E62 and just grab the product from the stick instead. There we go, that's applying it a lot more lightly. I'm gonna bring it into the crease of the eye as well. And then I'm gonna do under the lip, give the bottom lip more volume. I do normally like to do some cream blush, but I actually didn't do any for this look just because I didn't really feel like I had a shade that suited what I wanted. I am just gonna do another layer of setting spray just to fix all of that in place. Time to finally set those under eyes, and I'm sure you guys already know what powder I'm going to use because I have not shut up about it pretty much all year, I think, at this point. It is going to be the Revolution Eye Bright setting powder. It is so far the best thing that I've found to set my concealer on my under eyes. It is my favorite. I put it on and then I was a little bit concerned about how it would look in photos because I've never actually tested it for flashback, but I had my ring light with me. I took some ring light pictures and I didn't notice anything wrong with it at all. So I'm quite confident that if you are as pale as me, you should be fine. But if you have darker skin, it is quite a white powder, so I'm really not sure what it'll look like, unfortunately. I'm going to take my Morphe M330. This is my favorite brush for my under eyes, and the first thing that I'm going to do is get rid of any creases that may have settled in. Unfortunately, there's just nothing I'm going to be able to do about the creasing on the left eye. It's really annoying. I am going to take a good amount of powder. I think this is my fourth one so far this year. I'm not sure. I've had quite a few of this powder. I really do like it. I'm going to run that on the top lid as well. Let me try a clean brush quickly. Literally another one of the same. And then I like to go over those areas that I highlighted so that we are still getting a form of highlight with our powder. I just looked up and my camera had stopped recording, so I definitely hope we haven't lost any footage. We're going to powder the rest of the face now, and I think it will come as no surprise to anyone that I'm going to use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Light because this is my favourite. And then, you guessed it, another layer of Urban Decay setting spray. So next is the rest of the powder products on the face, and I actually took the wrong bronzer with me to this wedding, and I was terrified that things were really gonna go wrong. I meant to take my Revolution Pro one, and then I took the Barry M Island Heatwave bronzer. Now, I do like this. I did say in my video testing it that I did enjoy it, but it's very easy to go heavy-handed with it. And if you look at the color, it's not like the warmest of bronzers. I think it's quite a good shade for me because it's not super warm, but it is very easy to have it go muddy. So we're gonna be super careful. I am gonna take one of my many Jaclyn Hill and Morphe JH06 brushes. They are my absolute favorite for blush and bronzer at the moment. And I'm gonna be pretty careful. I'm gonna make sure I'm not taking too much product. I am gonna start bronzing up. I really am just using a very light hand with it. Bring it over the eyelid a little bit as well. And then let's do the sides of the nose, the top. There we go, that's gone a little bit muddy, hasn't it? Just gonna take some more of my powder just back over the top. And then to contour, I'm gonna go in with the NYX Sweet Cheeks blush in the shade Taupe, which is a classic, and I'm so glad to have it back in my life. And I'm just gonna use the same brush here because why not? So again, we're gonna deepen up that contour. So many shadows going on my face right now. I like the way this is looking, but we do need to start bringing in a little bit more color, which we're gonna do in just a second. Again, I am just being really light-handed with this because we do have a lot going on already. And then I'm just gonna take the E62 again, and I'm gonna do my lower lip and my nose. So now for blush, I'm gonna go into one that I have really been loving lately, and if you had told me a year ago that that would be the case, I probably wouldn't have believed you, because when I first tried this out, I didn't really like these. But this is the ColourPop and Sailor Moon blush in the shade From the Moon. It's a gorgeous pink shade, but it's like not quite fully cool toned because I didn't want to go just too cool toned. It wasn't quite what I wanted. And I think the reason I didn't like this one at the time is just because I didn't have the right brush, because I didn't have these in my life at the time. It just really works for this blush, and I can't stop wearing it at the moment. I really like the way it looks. I am going in with quite a bit. I've dipped back in a couple of times. I do want a good amount of pigmentation, like I want people to be able to see my blush. And before we do anything else, let's do more Urban Decay. I'm not even going anywhere today, but this is what I do when I want my makeup to really last. Moving on to the eyes next, and as I said, this is gonna be super simple. This is gonna be really quick. I am just gonna prime a little bit using my e.l.f. Putty Primer. This is the shade Rose. Just a tiny little bit to have a slightly tacky base. That's literally all I'm gonna use. I'm gonna take my Neutral Mattes 01 palette from Viseart, and I'm gonna start with this shade over here on a Morphe M441. So really big, fluffy brush, and we're not really being like extra precise or anything right now. All I'm doing is bringing shadow into the eye area, so kind of like what we've been doing on the rest of the face. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more, but I'm really tapping off my excess. And then when I get to the outer portion of my eye, I'm gonna start dragging it outwards a little bit. So I'm just keeping my eye open. I'm using this like in my crease just above. I'm following the shape of my brow around at the back, and then dragging it out a little bit, just extending. I'm then gonna take this shade up here, and I'm just gonna blend. And then I'm gonna try and deepen it up a little bit, and I'm gonna go for this one down here. Again, you can really see I'm not digging my brush in or anything. I'm picking up such a light amount. I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but just concentrate it a little bit closer to the lid. Then back into my medium shade, and then my lightest. Literally, this is just to create depth and lift for my liner. Now, this is a party look, and right now, we are looking a little bit matte. Like, there's not a lot of shine or shimmer or anything going on. So again, I feel like this is gonna be a really predictable one because I've mentioned this one so many times. But I took my Pixie liquid eyeshadow in the shade Crystalline with me, and I'm gonna take it on my Morphe M433 just to pick up the glitter. I'm gonna pat that on my lid. I don't want it to be like really heavy glitter. I just want that hint of it when I close my eyes. And then I did also go into my Huda Mercury Retrograde, just into the Supermoon shade, and just packed on a bit more glitter. I'm also going to highlight at this stage, and one that I have really been loving lately, which you will know if you saw my latest W7 review, is the shade Flash from Beauty Bay. I have really been liking this one, but I do feel like it had an overspray on it. You can kind of see some of the glitter around the edge. You probably can't see it on camera, but when I started using it for that video, it was super glittery, and it's just not as glittery now, but it's still really pretty. I'm going to take this brush from the Tokyo brush set from W7, and I'm gonna start highlighting. Even though it is a little bit yellowy, I still think it works on my skin. I'm bringing it into the brow area, and then I'm going to take it on a Zoeva 231, is it? Yeah, 231. I'm going to do my brow bone here. I've gone a little bit heavy with it. We're also going to do the inner corner, and then the bridge of the nose, and the top lip. I'm just going to take my big fluffy Morphe brush again, and I'm just going to blend under the brow. Just make sure there's not a dark line between my highlight and my shadow. Then next is the winged liner, and for that I'm going to use the Inglot gel eyeliner. This is the black one in shade 77. My tip for eyeliner is always start with the eye that you struggle the most with, and then try to match the other eye to that one. If you do it the other way around, you will probably have a struggle, and that is normally when they do get bigger and bigger. So because for me that is my left eye, I'm just going to go and do it off camera quickly, and then we'll do the right eye together. All right, there we go, one down. Now let's do the other one. I did just add a drop of Revolution Pro mixing liquid to my Inglot liner, just so it's just a lot easier to use basically. I feel like I probably need to bring out my other mirror. This is making my camera move, but I need to make sure I don't go crazy out of frame for you guys. So I like to start my eyeliner just following my lower lash line, following that angle, and then I come back to the halfway point on my lid and just draw a line, and then I just fill in the shape, and then I'm gonna go back to the front of the eye. Do they match? I think they do. I think they're not bad. I think this one just needs to be a little bit thicker. Right, okay, I think we're good. I'm not going to attempt to make like any more changes to it, otherwise that's when I end up with completely mismatching sides and a wing that extends all the way to my hairline. Let me get this back out of the way and move the camera back. I do want to say my makeup lasted really well that night, but the only real issue I had was the eyeliner in the inner corner of my eye was transferring to like the lower portion, and that is something that does happen to me with the Inglot liner. I really like it, but I just always notice my inner corner looks really murky. I don't know if it's the liner or if it's me or if it's the fact that I use the Revolution Pro mixing liquid. Let me know if you have the same issue with this liner or if it's just me. If you guys know where that might be. It just ends up making everything look really messy, and it's just a bit of a shame. I still need to do mascara, but I need to let the liner dry down first because I'm going to curl my lashes, so I don't want the curler to remove any of the product. So in the meantime, I'm going to do my brows. They are looking a little bit powdery, so I'm just going to grab a spoolie and I am just going to try and get rid of any product. Now there was actually a part of my prep that was a little bit different this time around, and that is when it comes to the eyebrows. I normally get them tinted when I get them waxed, but I wasn't able to get in to do that. So I picked up the Schwarzkopf brow tint in the shade light brown to try and do it myself. I was a little bit scared, but it was really easy to use, and they didn't go too dark at all. I left it on for 6 minutes. The only thing is I feel like it is fading really quickly. I do feel like the salon one lasts a bit longer, but it was £5 in Savers, so that's not really the end of the world. Now when it comes to my eyebrows in real life, recently I've actually changed how I do them, and I've started using a brow mascara, which I never used to do. I've tried some before, but I never liked them, and that's because I would use them expecting them to set my brows in place, and they never did because my brows are super unruly, as we have figured out this year. This is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I have 2 shades here. I have taupe and I have neutral brown, and this is really good and really affordable. So I'm going to start off with the shade taupe, and that's going to be for the front half of the brow, and I'm just kind of quickly brushing it through just to coat the hair with colours. I'm not worrying about how the brow is shaping right now. It's just about filling it in. And I love the way it fills it in. I think it looks really, really nice. And then I'm going to take the shade Neutral Brown, and that is going to be for the back half of my brow. And I do really like using more than one shade on my brows. It just gives them a lot more dimension. I'm just going to take a little bit more of the taupe just to blend them in together. The other thing that I didn't really like about brow gels before, like tinted ones, is that I would always end up with loads of it like above my brow and in the foundation, so it would kind of ruin it a little bit. Again, that's because I was trying to push the brow hairs up and set them in place, so then I was just getting loads of colour on my skin. So now that I'm not using the brow gels for that purpose, not a problem. There we go, they're filled in. That was super quick. They're not quite finished, but we're gonna go back to the eyes. So I'm now gonna curl my lashes. This is just a random eyelash curler. It's either Primark or Superdrug. And then my mascara is going to be the NARS Climax Extreme. I'm just going to make sure I get rid of the excess. Confession, this mascara is a year old, and I know you're not meant to keep mascaras for that long, but when I bought it, I just found it so wet. Like, I really struggled with it. It was just too much. It was giving me spider legs, and a year later, having not used it for most of that year, it's actually perfect. So yeah, don't keep mascaras for more than 6 months, but it actually made this one better. So I'm only gonna do my top lashes here. I'm not going to do my bottom lashes. I just really wanted to focus everything on the top lid. We've got nothing on the lower lash line. We've got no colour, we've got no liner, no shadow, no nothing. So I wanted to do the same with the lashes. And now that the lashes are done, I'm going to move back over into the brows because I just needed the brow gels to dry down so that they don't end up moving around or anything. And I'm now going to take my NYX brow glue to set everything in place. Now, my recommendation for this brow gel, if you are someone who likes to do their makeup in their normal clothes and then get changed, I would use the brow gel after getting changed, just because it does hold on to the brow hairs pretty well. Like, it does keep them in place fairly well. But if you are wearing something that you need to take off, you're most likely going to end up dragging the brow hairs down. Like, it's just not really going to work. So I would kind of get to this stage in the makeup, get changed, and then move on to the brows. If you're someone who's brave enough to do all of their makeup or wearing their going out clothes, obviously this doesn't apply to you. I'm a little bit scared of you because you live life too close to the edge. Like, you scare me a little bit. So yeah, the NYX brow glue, it does come out quite gloopy, but it doesn't dry down with the same crunchiness that the Revolution one has. It does seem to keep my brow hairs in place really well. The only thing, again, that seems to ruin it is removing clothes. I'm not going for the fully flattened eyebrow look. We're just making things fluffier. You do have to be careful. I do feel like I've made the product underneath move a little bit. So that is why I do recommend leaving it to dry down first. Yeah, with the brow gel, it does work. I really, really like the combo of those products together. All right, we're nearly there. We're nearly finished. The next thing I'm going to do is just add my glue to my eyelashes, and I'm going to take my Cara lashes from By Libby Beauty. These are actually brand new because the pair that I wore to the wedding just looked like it was a little bit wrecked. My favorites, as you guys know, are the Ivy lashes, but I felt like I needed something with a little bit more oomph, a little bit more volume. So I'm just using my Duo Quick Adhesive, coating my lash band. While I wait for the glue to dry, I'm gonna line my lips using my lip liner in red from Barry M. And then I'm going to fill that in with my MUA Velvet Matte Longwear Liquid Lipstick. This is the shade Reckless. I just think that if I'm going to do a red lip and I need it to last all night, it has to be a liquid lipstick. I'm not brave enough to do a red lip with a bullet lipstick if I need it to last, because it never does on me. I'm going to do one last spray of the Urban Decay setting spray. And now that my lash glue has had a chance to dry down, I'm going to pop my lashes on. Alright guys, well this is it. This is the finished look. I hope, as always, that you liked it. There is just something about the really flawless skin, the bold wing, the bold lip that just like, I'm really feeling it with the curls as well. I feel really confident, I feel really nice. I'm really disappointed that right now I'm not going anywhere. I just have a day off tomorrow, and then it's Christmas week. Literally, how has this happened? How is Christmas this week? The way that time has gone by in the past couple of years just makes absolutely no sense. Anyone else? Anyway, I really hope as always that you guys like this look. I hope you found this video helpful and there were some good tips and tricks. I don't know if I do any tips and tricks really. I have no idea, but I really hope it was helpful to you guys. I hope you guys have a lovely Christmas if I manage to get this video up before Christmas, and if I don't, I hope you had a lovely Christmas and you had a fantastic new year. As always, all of the products I used will be listed and linked down below if you want to check anything out. Any affiliate links are clearly marked. And yeah, that is it. So if you enjoyed today's video, do as always, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't already, then please make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys.